this is me. I'm Dan Kinnison. I'm currently in the twin brother of Josh Myers, which is kind of the worst thing ever, because that's the worst character on that 70s show. But I've been doing comedy for a couple of years. Little story I have about that is my first heckler was at a show, and this guy just starts laying into me left and right? You know, just saying one thing after the other. And then he finally says the one thing that just totally threw me off my vibe. He leans out of his chair very drunkenly and he goes, "Hey, comic, did your mom?" And I just stopped. And I looked right at him, I looked him right in his soul, and I said, "You know what, you son of a..." Wait a minute, Dad? And that is why you have to understand that being a comic is all about self-deprecation, okay? It's all breakdown. A lot of people think that it's like this big thing. Everybody, you know, you're gonna be like Will Ferrell, or you're gonna be like the next, you know, Richard Pryor or something like that. It's just a constant road of embarrassing yourself and seeing how long you can take it before you finally snap. A lot of it is self-rewarding. I've got to meet a lot of cool people doing it. It's just really interesting. You get to travel a lot, which is cool. And when you do it, it's kind of like on your own personal schedule. And when you do shows, you'll randomly do them. Like, they will be pre-planned. Like this one right here is a good friend of mine, Jared Richard. We were invited to do the opening night for that game, Destiny. And that's the most weird place. Like, it's so random, because everybody thinks, oh, you do comedy, you must be at a comedy club in a theater like this all the time. No, you're constantly in like the corner next to a bathroom in a bar, or you do shows at GameStop for a video game that you're not fully aware of. It's like you go in there and you just talk about Halo for 5 hours, and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, this is Destiny, it's much different." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's all the same stuff." But it's there's a huge writing process to that. We got writers in the room, I'm sure. Who's like really a good writer? Like screenplays, stuff like that? Right. Okay, that was one thing they never like explained to me. Like, because doing stand-up, I'm thinking, oh, I just get to be that funny, like the way I am around my friends. But there's a whole writing process to it. Like, a lot of people think that you just come up here and you just do your thing all the time. But it's rehearsed, it's practiced over and over and over again. There's another thing, drinking. That is the key to not going insane with stand-up or any kind of writing process in general. The amount of time spent drinking and writing is just so cohesive. It really is. I kind of feel like, was it Twain or Hemingway was the heavy drinker and writer, right? I don't know history. I'm a comic. I'm an idiot. But yeah, it's an interesting process doing it, because you have to really start people watching is a big thing, is kind of having that outside perspective on society, always seeing things just as they're happening. And a lot of it can be like mundane thing. That's a really good genre to kind of go into and for like stand-up. Because when you talk to an audience, you want to find something relatable, you know? So the most mundane common things that people think about, like if you're standing in line at Starbucks and some guy standing there and goes, "Okay, I'm gonna ask 20 questions on every drink at Starbucks." You're like, have you never had an espresso in your life? I'm sure several people have this time, right? You start behind somebody in like McDonald's or something like that, and you're like, "Okay, dude, it's a cheeseburger. It's cheese, pickles, ketchup." And they're like, "Well, does it come with lettuce or does it not?" Just get something. Okay, it's $1.29. Like, either way, you're not winning in life. You're at McDonald's. But there's those aspects of it, you know? And a lot of people, like I said, they find it to be like this kind of glorified thing, and it's not. It is like a hard road. I'm actually like 12. I just look 26 because that's how much this thing has like destroyed my life. It's just been this constant grind. And if you notice, every photo I think after this point, there's me with alcohol, which is the lubricant of the job. Because, you know, getting over the stage fright, and essentially like right now, like I don't know most of the people in this room right now, but I seem very comfortable, right? Years of drinking have helped me with this. Oh my God, it's amazing. The other, the positive sides though I really like, is getting to meet people, you know? Because I probably wouldn't be here right now getting to meet you guys, artists and all that stuff, had it not been for kind of getting in certain aspects of life like this. So this was a trip we took down to Humboldt County. This is a magazine they write for, Savage Henry. It's kind of like pop culture weed stuff. But another one that's very supportive of like local artists, musicians, comics. We've got Eric Alexander Moore, who is a comic here in Salem. Right next to him is Ray McMillan. Used to be a DJ and writer for Exotic, and now is just kind of like an independent stand-up. Still writes, does articles, stuff like that. Myself, but that was cool because that just happened by meeting Ray, and then Eric I had known for a couple of years, and Randy, some guys down in California. So you get to really kind of connect with people, and you get to go on these trips and explore different parts of the country. It's really, really cool. It's also a very demanding job because a lot of people think that if you can tell a joke one time and it's funny, then it's funny forever. And that's not the case. You have to be able to be very flexible with your material. The best comics I've seen are people who can do the same set in like the far West Coast and take that same material to the far East Coast and still have it be relevant to no matter what spots they go in the country. And that's the hardest part because for me personally, like, I always want to do like comic book jokes or referencing video games and stuff like that. But that doesn't always work if one day I'm in like Salem and I'm around a bunch of 20-year-olds who kind of get those references. But then like one week I'm in like Colorado and it's a country club with like 40-year-old women. Like those things aren't gonna match. So you have to kind of learn how to read your audience, get to know them a little bit, get comfortable with them. Another thing is constantly changing. There have been like a lot of writing processes where you'll have a joke that's very long-winded, very boring, like how I'm talking right now, and then you just snip it up. Always being flexible with your writing in general, just keeping it going. This is another part right here. So this is something that really I enjoy. We do different styles. So there's stand-up, obviously. There's improv, like whose line is it anyway? That's one of the greatest things you can ever use because it teaches you to be quick on your feet and to kind of be in the moment of everything. This is one of the things we do. It's called PowerPoint comedy. So what we would do, or no, this was a music video, that's right. So this one in particular, you can't see it's off screen, but each one of the comics would pick a music video, and then basically if you've ever seen something like Mystery Science Theater 3000, you would do commentary on it and just crack jokes in front of an audience. It's really fun, but it's something that's like off the top of your head. You get to kind of just do your thing, be natural about it. It's not pre-scripted or anything like that. But the other one is PowerPoint comedy, and that one's really fun. So what you do is you build a whole set of just random topics, and every comic who goes up has to basically just start thinking of jokes about that one topic. Like you'll get 5 topics per 5 minutes. So the first one would be like, kitten, neutering or something like that. You have to talk about kitten, neutering. That was the last time I think I cosplayed. I love that photo so much. It's just, that's how you know that I've never spent a lot of time cosplaying because I'm using cardboard for a six-pack. But I dig it, it's fun. I really do have a lot of respect for people who can do that, the cosplay stuff. Where are the cosplayers? Right here? Yeah. You guys, seriously, like the time and effort you guys build into that stuff is really, really cool. How many actually went to the Comic-Con we had here? A few? Yeah. That was really cool. Like I really enjoyed like seeing how far people could get creative, or how detailed they could get with something. I think there was one where it was four people and they did Labyrinth. There was like David Bowie, there was somebody who fully built Hoggle, like a fully sculpted head. I mean, it was detailed. And then they had the girl and the baby, and I think, was there one more I was missing? I don't know. Either way, but yeah, I find that always to be really, really cool. That was the show in Humboldt County, actually. That was the first time I actually got put up by like a small magazine company. And it's cool because you start to hit these landmarks, kind of like little merit badges. Because, really nobody gives a crap too much unless you're like headlining like the Elsinore or something like that. And continuing to do it, you constantly get it down. It's like anything. You practice, you keep practicing, you're going to get it down to a certain kind of like formula or something that works for you. But the biggest thing that I've learned doing stand-up is that the funnier you get is by being more of yourself. So if you're like the funny guy in your group of friends, if you can finally be that honest, that person that you really, really are, and you can do it on stage, that will take you so much further. Because the best comics I've seen are the most honest people. They don't lie. They're just straightforward with everything.
No.